So I think, did you want to ask if, has anybody published with Springer Nature before?
No.
But are you familiar, have you used Springer Nature in your research and, okay, great.
All the time.
All the time, all right. So we have 4 newish or newer publications that are available to anybody who's associated with Weill Cornell medicine. Nature Cancer, it launched about 2 years ago in 2021. And what it does is it brings there was a need, the editors felt there was a need in the market to bring together the cancer community to look at things a little more, I don't know, I'll just say there's an emphasis on research on tumor initiation, propagation, and progression, translating new understandings on approaches for diagnostic and therapeutic modalities, and clinical studies informing on diagnosis, treatment, and prevention, as well as societal impact. So it tries to bring in the societal impact into the research part of things. And so since the beginning, since it's launched in 2021, we've had 14 publications from authors associated with Weill Cornell. 13 of those publications published open access, and 21 we have 14 publications, 21 authors from Weill Cornell. Just quickly listed them. I don't know if you know any of them. And then I also identified for these papers the top collaborating institutions. So you can see these are the institutions that Weill Cornell worked with the most when putting together the research that was published. And then also I just grabbed the funders who totally makes sense who's funding this kind of research. So included that too. Yes.
What determines which one are open access and which one are not?
Yeah, so it's up to the author. The author can choose to publish open access or choose not to. And if you do choose to publish open access currently, the author is responsible for that author processing charge, which for Nature is going to be like a little higher than for the Springer journals. We actually do have transformative agreements now with MIT and Northeastern and Carnegie Mellon, which means that the university is covering all of those author processing charges.
Okay, so we should talk to somebody else for Netherlands.
Yes, if you would like that, please put
It's
forward
something
in.
would be needed to be done by the medical college also, or at the level of the university.
I mean, we would be open to either. Currently, Cornell is doing everything as one whole, but we are open to either.
So we should talk to the director of the library and ask her if she can push for Cornell. Because I mean, it would be much, of course, it's much better if everybody is open access.
Oh,
it is for sure.
Yeah, in the presentation, I in a couple slides, I have a comparison of like citations from open access versus subscription based, and it's just amazing how much more citation. So,
But do everything become open access after a certain amount of time or not?
no, but there, I think you're thinking about, there was a model like that at one point where it was like closed for a while and then came open. But I think that model is really dying out. So people prefer to be open just from the beginning.
Yeah. So we should definitely find a way for the college to.
And sometimes, depending on the grant funding that you have, sometimes they will pay what we call the APCs or author publishing fees. So there is sometimes that is worth. All right, so the other newer launch is Nature Metabolism. We've had 6 publications associated with Weill Cornell, and 5 of those were published open access. There were 17 authors in total, and the collaborating institutions are here. And then also the top funders of the research that was published by your authors. And then we also have, this is a really interesting, this is actually one that I read myself because I'm interested in stopping the aging process. But we have this launched in 2021. And we have 4 publications associated with Weill Cornell, 3 published open access, 3 authors from Weill Cornell, top collaborators. I thought that what was interesting about this is that the collaborators are really, they're not from, the rest of them are really very much US based, but here, Toronto, Canada, And when I was looking at the data, Canada has put a lot of investment into researching aging, I think because of aging populations. So I thought that was interesting.
German also.
Oh yeah, and Max Planck, which they're an amazing organization. So, and I think the CECAD is also a German foundation as well, or a government funder. So, or I'm sorry, I got that confused. I think they're also in that organization is in Germany. So, all right, and then next, Nature Catalysis. Catalysis. I knew I was going to do that. This one launched a bit earlier in 2018, but it just recently became available through your subscription. So it included the number of authors through your open access, the collaborating institutions, and then the top funders. And then, so I wanted to just show you a couple of things to just give you sort of an idea of the trends of publishing here at Weill Cornell. So this is the past 10 years, starting in 2012 to 2022, and it shows the number of publications per year. And what's really great about this is, you have this beautiful upward trend, which is generally the direction everybody wants to go. So, and this is just with Springer Nature, but I then pulled all publishers in the last 10 years. So this is how your publishing looks across the board. And you'll see there is a slight downturn from 2020 to 2021.
Don't show that to the video.
No.
It's a COVID spike. We call it the COVID spike.
It's so common.
Yeah,
it's happening everywhere.
So for 2020 to 2021, there was this big spike in publication output everywhere. Unfortunately, it was mostly only in men, but it's because there was more time on people's hands, so they had more time to publish, so it's totally normal. And that 2022 is still above 2019. So even when we're figuring out what would be the normal publication output for a transformative agreement, we look at 4 years because of that COVID spike.
Yeah. Okay. And then this is citations, which is basically a good way to measure impact. So within the Springer Nature publications over the past 10 years, you've had almost 100,000 citations from the papers that were written, which is pretty amazing because the next slide shows all the publishers, and it's just over 600,000 citations over the past 10 years, but almost 100,000 of them came from Springer Nature. So I think that's pretty great. And then I wanted to give you some information on open access. So this is a picture with your publishing just with Springer Nature, and you can see the green line is all open access, the blue line is closed or subscription based. And you can see how, in 2012 there's a big gap between them, but again, straight nice ramp upward, and you are getting, it looks a little deceiving. I would say this is more like 50-50 in 2022. But the graph, it just looks a little bit off. But anyway, you can see by the open, there were 1,600 papers published open, right, with 73,000 citations. So 75% came from the open access, which is pretty amazing. And that's a little higher than what we see nationally. Usually it's about 30% and 70 or 35, 65. So, and you'll see that here. So then I pulled all the data for all the publishers, open and closed. So over the past decade, 12,000 have been published open. And this is really confusing. For some reason, my software put the all OA is in blue rather than green, and the closed is in green. So I don't know why it switched that, but I couldn't. So anyway, again, nice trends. You want to see the blue. In this case, if you're you're moving towards a great open trend, and so I also just out of curiosity wanted to see what the top funders were associated with Springer Nature publications. So I did this from the past 10 years, and this just shows you how many publications are associated with that funder and how many citations that funder's research received from the papers that were published. And then again, I did all publishers. So gives you and there's not a terrible amount of difference between the two, which is also interesting. So, and then I also just pulled collaborations. I know for researchers that can be very important is who you're collaborating with. It is over the past 10 years. I think if you really were interested, I'd probably do a smaller number of years to pull the data because there has been much more collaboration in the last 5 years than there were the previous 5 years before that. So this gives you an idea of what that collaborators on Springer Nature papers, and then here's all for all publishers, your Weill Cornell's collaborators. And not to, we put some pretty good partners on here for sure. So, oh, and that was the last slide. I did pull if anybody
Slide
had.
outside, you don't tell me, you met Kelly?
Yeah,
She's the one that then we should talk about open access.
okay.
We will.
And I pulled the top 5 articles from Weill Cornell for 2022 in case you guys were interested.
I want to show you one of
These are
the
the top
slides. Can you go back to the citation slides?
Sure.
There's a huge difference in number of citations of the articles published open access or not open access. And look at the difference. 16,000 articles.
Oh, yeah, I knew that.
Oh, yeah, so they say that we can have an agreement for the whole college, for all the submissions.
I do all my licensing through Cornell University Library,
Okay.
Yeah.
so you probably know that already.
Yeah.
And you are offering us an open access license, I've kind of heard that.
No,
And
I need to
I'm on the
hear it.
negotiations team for
Yes.
all of Cornell University.
Yes, I have begun, just broached the topic with Jesse.
Yes.
And we pulled publication data, which has been shared with Jesse as well, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And our contract comes up for renewal, if I'm not mistaken, in the next year, 2 years, I think? 2 years? We
yes,
just
yeah.
negotiated.
We did a 3-year license.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
This year, it starts this year.
Starts 2022 or 2023?
Correct.
Oh, we did last year. I keep forgetting because we always seem to work a year ahead.
So it would be great if we can add open access to the from.
Well, yes, I am the biggest proponent on
Okay,
that
great,
team,
great.
but I have to say, not everybody's as, I have some
Well, we can
conservative
show,
colleagues.
we can show them these slides.
Yes, I'll share
I
those
mean,
with
the
you.
number of
Okay.
citations basically is the indication of the success of your work and how many people recognize. So you get
This one is across all publishers, open access, and then the one before is Springer Nature.
so Spring, look at it, 73, you get 4 times more citation if it's open access.
I have
Right.
been advocating for open access.
Yeah, no, I know. No,
That's
so,
why
no,
we actually
this
have open
number-
access agreements that Cornell University Ithaca does not.
Ah,
So,
Oh,
okay.
yeah.
I am open to that.
Well, I have to play by the rules, but we have a license agreement with Harvard that they don't have, so
I mean,
Harvard offered us
yeah.
open access, we took it. Yeah.
Can you send them these slides so
Okay.
Kelly can use it in her battle?
You can do the magic.
Absolutely.
I thought this was a good weapon for you. I
Oh,
know you push for open access,
yeah,
but that's why this is a very good.
good,
It
yeah,
shows.
We'll share this with you.
that'd be great, thank you.
Sorry to push you in dramatic.
No,
I
this
think-
is
I think it
great,
was,
this is great.
Yes, who
Oh.
chooses the raffle
Who
winner?
chooses the raffle?
Oh, I don't know.
Did you guys put
Raffle.
your?
That is Sadia.
Oh, yes.
You're done? Okay, great.
All right.
Everyone signed in, right? Yes, okay, great. All right, good luck, guys. We keep this there as fair as possible. Go sign. 084226. Thumbs up. Thank you.